is probably one of my favorite ports, and I've been living in library this whole time. We're actually going to go to explore, which is a completely separate section for reporting what people are mostly used to. And again, we have identification of the dealership, so they'll be blurred out for you. But we're going to click on freeform. And most people would probably think to click on blank. I like to be a little bit lazier on this. When we click freeform, it's going to give you some of those values immediately, so you don't have to build it all from scratch. So I typically go freeform. And the reason why we're going here is that this is a pivot table. I believe that's what it's called, where you have filters on top and bottom. But we are going to first remove this because we don't need that and we don't need the device category. And we actually need form name, which is one of those custom dimensions that we recommend. And element text, which is, again, one of those parameters we recommend adding. On this left side, this row, we're going to put element text and form name. So we can see all these different element text. Right now it's not filtered, so it's absolutely everything, includes a menu, which this is also useful for evaluating the menu. Like this is kind of the base step, this element text. On column, we're going to filter event name. And we want event count for the first part. But we also want sessions and total users. You can see pretty often I use all three of these together. And that the sessions and total users are under metrics, whereas the other stuff is under dimensions. I believe it's only going to give us 2 here. Sometimes it gives us 3. There it is. And I'm going to sort sessions, total users, and event count. And finally, a filter. And it's going to go based off of event name, because we only want 4 events. And we're going back to regex. So first one's ASC CTA interaction. So it's going to be anytime somebody interacts with the CTA. And I'm using regex, so I get to use periods instead of underscores. ASC form interaction. ASC form submission. This is going to give us our short funnel here of people clicking on CTAs. Form engagement, not interaction. So ASC form engagement. So, we need one more filter. So I don't have it in here, but we do need page type. So page type, and we only want VDP views. That's why we're filtering this. So we added it to the dimensions. We're going to do page type exactly matches item. And we are going to sort by sessions. It says it's sorted. It definitely was not. All right, so check availability is your highest used CTA on VDPs. It's apparently giving away additional information for the company. So let me filter that. It's interesting it's doing that. That means people are clicking on directions. All right, so that one's not going to be as useful in this part for you. What you're looking at in this is going to be looking to see which CTAs or which call to actions people are using, because that's the start of the funnel. Like if they're opening up that call to action, then you can see, how many people open that, and when you follow it through, you can see the rest of that process. For this purpose, so we can see the other parts of the report, I'm actually going to remove this first thing for the element text, just because it has business identifiable information. So I'm going to get rid of that. And now we're down to form engagement and form submission. So on their VDPs, they had 59 people engaged with forms, which is definitely on the lower side, for 14 form submissions. And the reason why this is important is because we run into situations, like we saw one just earlier this week, where we had 3,000 form engagements and 70 people completed the form. What you're looking at here is what specific form is causing issues where people are opening it, but not completing the submission. And that tells you that there's something wrong in that form process. In the one that we looked at, where we had very low submission rate, the only way you could submit a form was when you got a text message to your phone and confirmed you were a real person. Don't do that. It super failed, unfortunately. I don't know if there was more to it. Maybe it wasn't texting people properly, but 70 out of 3,000 was just a terrible, terrible conversion rate. So we haven't seen the results of removing that. I think the website company is in the process of fixing that UX issue. But you'd be looking for that same problem where you have high form engagement, low form submissions. That means there's a UX problem on your VDPs with your forms. And you definitely want to look into that. We can also do this based off of the SRP. So instead of using page type exactly matches item, we're going to do item list, which is the SRP. And we only had 7 people engage with forms on the SRPs, but 5 of them submitted. So it depends on which website platform you're on. There's a couple website platforms that really hang their hook or hang their hat on their ability to convert people on SRP pages. This is not one of those website providers. They're almost always exclusively send people to the VDP. But you may find that even if you have CTAs and buttons on your SRPs, nobody cares about them. If that's the case, you're not getting leads, you're not getting submissions, you're not getting calls. You'd want to get rid of that CTA. Because if it's not useful for anybody, it's not useful for your consumers, there's no need to have it on the website.
Right.
So this is kind of the short funnel. This website company doesn't have a whole lot of forms. Sometimes there's like 7 or 8 different forms on here. In this case, there's only 2. And one of them is vehicle finder service. For whatever reason, didn't fire a engagement event, but they did get a form submission. That randomly happens. And this is the information you're looking for.